What's the meaning of Israel has the right to defend itself? Let's break that down into two. There's the rhetorical meaning of the way it's used, and then there's the actual sort of, we could, and then talking about it more seriously. The rhetorical meaning is Israel is not the instigator. Israel is the victim. And history started on October the 7th last year. So when people say constantly Israel has the right to defend itself, what they mean is nothing happened before October the 7th last year. Israel was attacked out of the blue and Israel was defending itself. Other people attack Israel, Israel defends itself. That's a classic formulation. And all the analysis on British media output on Israel-Palestine going back decades will show you that is always the framing, no matter what the facts are. And Israel was attacked really seriously on October the 7th. But no matter what the facts are, that will always be the sequence. And history will always be cut off the day before something the Palestinians did. What does Israel have the right to defend itself really mean? To people who aren't trying to be rhetorical, but to approach that thought in a serious way. I mean, all states have the obligation to defend their citizens from physical threat. That's definitely true. The question is how. And if you take seriously the fact that history didn't start on October the 7th, and this goes back a really long time, what would be the best way of ensuring the genuine right of Jewish Israelis to have safety and security? It would be to make peace with the Palestinians and have some kind of settlement, and it's none of my business, it could be a two-state settlement. People say that's impossible. Okay, fine. As I say, it is none of my business. It's up to Palestinians to decide what their liberation looks like, and it's up to Palestinians and Israelis to agree, not in a lopsided way, but to genuinely agree what their coexistence looks like. 2 states, 1 state, whatever. But if you have genuine equality, then you have genuine security and genuine safety for everyone. That would be a good way for Israel to defend itself. Israel could have defended itself in 2002 when the entire Arab League offered it full normalisation and full diplomatic recognition simply if it withdrew to its legal borders and gave a just resolution to the refugee issue. Not even all the refugees get to return to their homes. Just a just resolution or an equitable resolution. Going back to its legal borders, i.e. keeping 78% of what the Palestinians consider rightly to be their ancestral homeland. It's the ancestral homeland of both peoples, not just one. So Israel could have, that was a generous offer from the Palestinians in particular, from their point of view. We'll give you 78% of our historic homeland. We don't even demand that all the refugees get to go home. We'll just have 2 states on those boundaries, and you can have full diplomatic recognition. And what did the Israelis do? They didn't even consider it, didn't talk about it. That's still on the table from the Arab League, 22 years later. And it's not the only example. At any point, they could have just left the occupied territories. No one's forcing them to stay there. And of course, if there isn't an apartheid state, if there isn't a state of apartheid, if there isn't a state of occupation, if there isn't a state of repression, then what's the chances of these paramilitary groups, A, forming at all, or B, if they do form, doing anything in terms of recruitment? If people are living happy lives, independent lives, equal, prosperous, safe, secure, why would they want to join a paramilitary group? So there's many ways to defend yourself, and one is just not creating the conditions that are bound to produce groups like Hamas, and not effecting your own forms of terrorism, etc., which are bound to produce those effects.